First contact. The quantum resonance detector aboard the UES Hyperion lit up like a Christmas tree. Dr. Sarah Chen nearly dropped her coffee as she stared at the readings. After 3 years of deep space exploration, they'd finally found something. A signal unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. "Captain Rodriguez," she called over the intercom, her voice trembling with excitement. "You need to see this." The signal pulsed with a mathematical precision that could only be artificial, yet it used principles of quantum mechanics that human science was only beginning to understand. It originated from an unexplored sector of the Carina Nebula, a region that should have been empty space. Captain Maya Rodriguez arrived on the bridge minutes later, her dark eyes alert despite the early hour. The rest of the senior staff followed. Navigation Officer James Chen, Security Chief Kira Patel, and Chief Engineer Dr. Marcus Webb. They gathered around Sarah's console, studying the mysterious signal. "It's definitely not natural," Sarah explained, pulling up the analysis. "The signal operates on multiple quantum frequencies simultaneously, something we've theorized but never achieved. Whatever made this is centuries ahead of our technology." Maya's expression remained neutral, but Sarah could see the captain's mind racing. This was exactly the kind of discovery their mission had been searching for. Proof that humanity wasn't alone in the universe, but it was also potentially dangerous. First contact situations were delicate, and they had no idea what waited for them at the signal source. "Plot a course," Maya finally ordered, "but maintain full defensive readiness. We're not taking any chances." The Hyperion's quantum drive hummed to life as they altered course. As they approached the coordinates, the crew grew increasingly tense. The signal grew stronger, and new details emerged. It wasn't just a beacon. It was a complex transmission containing vast amounts of encoded data. "Visual contact," James announced. "You're going to want to see this." The main view screen activated, and the bridge crew collectively gasped. Floating in the void before them was a massive crystalline structure, at least 5 kilometers in length. Its surface was covered in intricate geometric patterns that seemed to shift and flow like liquid despite being solid crystal. The structure pulsed with an inner light that matched the frequency of the quantum signal. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered. "And completely impossible," Marcus added. "Those crystals, they're perfectly formed on an astronomical scale. This isn't natural, and it's not something that could be built with any technology we know of." The structure hung motionless against the backdrop of space, ancient and mysterious. As they watched, the patterns on its surface began to shift more rapidly, forming new configurations. The quantum signal changed frequency, becoming more complex. "It's responding to our presence," Sarah realized. "This isn't just a structure, it's active." Maya stood from her captain's chair, studying the crystalline enigma before them. "Begin full sensor sweeps. I want to know everything about this object before we get any closer. And Sarah, see if you can decode any of that transmission. Something tells me we were meant to find this." As the crew worked, none of them noticed the subtle changes occurring throughout the ship's systems. Microscopic crystalline structures were beginning to form in the computer cores, spreading through the circuitry like digital roots. The ancient artifact had already begun its work, preparing humanity's first test. The question wasn't whether humanity was ready to find the crystal structure. The question was whether they were ready for what it would reveal about their own origins and their destiny among the stars. The awakening. Dr. Sarah Chen's fingers flew across her console as she attempted to decode the increasingly complex quantum transmissions. The crystalline structure continued its silent dance, its surface patterns shifting like liquid light. But something was wrong. The ship's computers were acting strangely, processing data faster than should have been possible. "Captain," Marcus called from engineering, his voice tense. "We've got anomalous growth in our computer cores. Some kind of crystalline formation is spreading through our systems." Maya's hand instinctively moved to the ship's emergency protocols. "Can you isolate it?" "That's just it. It's not damaging anything. If anything, It's improving our processing power. Our quantum computers are operating at 300% normal capacity. The structure pulsed with new intensity, and suddenly every screen on the bridge lit up with streams of alien code. Sarah's eyes widened as she watched the symbols cascade across her display. This is incredible. The structure isn't just sending us data, it's upgrading our systems to help us understand it. Security Chief Patel stepped forward, her expression grim. Or it's compromising our defenses. We should pull back, establish a quarantine protocol. Before Maya could respond, a holographic projection materialized in the center of the bridge. It took the form of a shifting geometric pattern that somehow conveyed a sense of consciousness and artificial intelligence far beyond human understanding. "Greetings, children of Earth," it spoke, its voice resonating not through the ship's speakers but directly in their minds. "You have been found worthy of initiation." The crew stood frozen, watching as the hologram expanded, filling the bridge with dancing lights and impossible geometries. The AI continued, "I am Guardian, custodian of the Crystal Vault. For 100,000 years, I have waited for a species capable of detecting our quantum signature. You are the first." Maya stepped forward, her voice steady despite the extraordinary situation. "I am Captain Maya Rodriguez of the UES Hyperion. What is this initiation you speak of?" "Your species stands at a crossroads," Guardian responded. "You have begun to grasp quantum mechanics, to understand the deeper structure of reality. But knowledge without wisdom brings only destruction. You must be tested." The crystal structure suddenly came alive with blinding light, extending crystalline tendrils that wrapped around the Hyperion like glowing fingers. The ship's systems began to transform more rapidly, crystal formations spreading throughout its structure. "Wait," Sarah called out. "What kind of test? What are you looking for?" "The test has already begun," Guardian replied. "Your ship is being integrated into the Crystal Vault's network. Through it, we will evaluate humanity's potential and its dangers." The hologram shifted, showing images of Earth's history, both its achievements and its conflicts. "Your species is unique," Guardian continued. "You possess both great capacity for creation and destruction. You have developed technology faster than any species we have observed, yet you still war among yourselves." Maya felt a presence in her mind, gentle but insistent. Guardian was scanning their memories, their knowledge, their very essence. The vault contains knowledge that could elevate humanity to the stars, or destroy you completely. The test will determine if you are ready. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Multiple quantum signatures detected, James announced from navigation. "Something's coming through subspace." A hologram flickered, and for a moment, Guardian's calm demeanor showed concern. "They have found us. The destroyers come. Now we shall see if humanity is worthy of salvation, or if they will join the countless species who failed before them." The void of space lit up with quantum distortions as massive ships began to emerge, organic-looking vessels that radiated malevolent purpose. The Crystal Vault's light pulsed with renewed intensity, and the Hyperion's systems continued their transformation. Humanity's test had begun, but it wasn't the one Guardian had planned. As the hostile ships approached, Maya realized they weren't just fighting for the right to access the Vault's knowledge. They were fighting for survival itself. Trial by fire. The destroyer's ships moved with unnatural grace, their biomechanical forms rippling through space like predatory sea creatures. Captain Maya Rodriguez had seen her share of battles, but nothing like this. The hostile vessels were each easily twice the size of the Hyperion, their surfaces covered in what looked like living weapon pods. "Status report," Maya commanded, her voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. "The crystalline integration has spread to 60% of our systems," Marcus reported from engineering. "Our quantum processing power is off the charts, but I don't know how much of our ship is even ours anymore." Sarah's fingers danced across her console, now partially crystalline itself. "Guardian, we need answers. Who are the destroyers? What do they want?" The A's hologram flickered, its geometric patterns showing signs of distress. They are what remains of the first species to fail our test. Rather than accept their failure, they chose to destroy the knowledge they couldn't possess. They have hunted the vaults across the galaxy, destroying all they find. The lead destroyer ship opened fire, launching streams of dark energy that twisted space itself. But before the attack could connect, the crystal formations on the Hyperion's hull pulsed with light. The dark energy dispersed harmlessly. "The vault is protecting us," Kira observed, studying the tactical display. "But we can't just sit here and play defense." Maya nodded, her mind racing. Humanity had survived countless challenges by thinking differently, by finding solutions where none seemed to exist. "Sarah, you've been studying the quantum transmissions. Can we use the crystal formations to fight back?" Sarah's eyes lit up with understanding. "The crystals operate on quantum principles we barely understand, but—" She paused, an idea forming. "Marcus, if we route power from our quantum drive through the crystal network, we could create a feedback loop," Marcus finished, catching on. "Use their own quantum principles against them." Guardian's hologram expanded, showing approval. "You seek to turn a defensive system to offensive purpose. Innovative, unexpected. This is why you were chosen." Maya didn't waste time on questions. "To it, James, plot an attack vector that brings us close to their lead ship. Kira, prepare all conventional weapons. We'll hit them with everything we've got." The Hyperion surged forward, its crystalline additions glowing brighter. The destroyer ships moved to surround them, dark energy weapons charging. But humanity had one advantage their enemies didn't expect: the ability to adapt, to take the unknown and make it their own. "Now," Maya ordered. The crystal formations on the Hyperion's hull resonated with built-up quantum energy. When the destroyers fired, their dark energy weapons connected with the crystal network and bounced back, amplified by the ship's quantum drive. The lead destroyer ship was caught in its own attack, its biomechanical surface cracking under the strain. "It's working," Sarah exclaimed. "The crystal network is learning, adapting to their weapons with each attack." Guardian's presence filled their minds again. "You have survived the first wave, but this is only the beginning. The destroyers will not stop. They cannot allow any species to access the knowledge they were denied." As if to prove Guardian's point, more quantum distortions appeared in space. A second wave of destroyer ships emerged, larger and more heavily armed than the first. But something else was happening too. The crystal vault itself was changing, its surface patterns shifting faster, forming new configurations. "The vault is responding to our defense," Sarah realized. "It's not just testing us, it's teaching us." Maya watched as new crystal formations grew across the Hyperion's hull, more complex than before. Their ship was becoming something new, a hybrid of human technology and ancient alien knowledge. But would it be enough to survive what was coming? The second wave of destroyers approached, their weapons charged. But this time, humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were fighting to prove themselves worthy of the galaxy's greatest secrets. And they would not fail. The choice. As the second wave of destroyer ships closed in, the crystal vault suddenly flared with blinding intensity. Time seemed to slow, and Guardian's presence filled the minds of the Hyperion's crew with unprecedented clarity. The physical trial was merely preparation, Guardian announced. Now comes the true test. The space around them shifted, reality itself bending as the vault's power reached its peak. The destroyer ships froze in place, caught in a quantum stasis field. Inside the Hyperion, the crystalline growths pulsed with new purpose. "Your species stands at a precipice," Guardian continued. "The knowledge within this vault could advance your civilization by millennia. But first, you must prove you understand its price." Holographic displays materialize around the bridge, showing scenes from across human history, moments of both triumph and tragedy, wars and peace treaties, scientific breakthroughs and environmental disasters, acts of great cruelty and incredible compassion. "We have watched your kind since you first looked to the stars," Guardian explained. "You progress faster than any species we have encountered, but with progress comes danger. The destroyers were once like you, brilliant, ambitious, determined. Their fall began with a single choice." Maya stepped forward, her voice steady. "What choice did they make?" "They chose power over wisdom." Guardian's form shifted, revealing images of another civilization's fall. When given access to the vault's knowledge, they sought only weapons, ways to dominate others. They ignored the warnings, the safeguards. In their arrogance, they believed they could control forces beyond their understanding. Sarah studied the data flowing across her screens, her eyes widening. The vault's knowledge. It's not just technology, is it? It's everything. The fundamental secrets of the universe itself. "Yes," Guardian confirmed. "And now you faced the same choice they did." The holographic displays shifted again, focusing on the frozen destroyer ships. "Their attack was part of the test. You proved you could defend yourselves, but now you must prove you understand when not to use power." A new set of controls materialized on the bridge, crystalline interfaces humming with potential. "Before you is the means to end the destroyer threat forever," Guardian explained. "The vault's power could rewrite their very existence, erase them from history itself. Or you could choose another path, one of healing, of redemption. But it would mean accepting risk, accepting that your enemies might one day return." Maya looked at her crew, seeing the weight of the decision in their eyes. The choice seemed simple on the surface: eliminate a threat that had destroyed countless civilizations, but the implications were staggering. To erase an entire species, even one as hostile as the destroyers, would prove they were no better than those they sought to destroy. "There's something else you're not telling us," Sarah said suddenly, her mind racing. "The destroyers. They're trapped in a loop, aren't they? Each time they destroy a vault, they fall further into darkness. They keep searching for more vaults, trying to find one that will finally judge them worthy." Guardian's form pulsed with approval. "You understand more than you know. The destroyers believe they are protecting the galaxy from the vault's power. They do not realize they have become what they feared most." Maya stepped closer to the crystalline controls, but didn't touch them. "If we destroy them, we prove them right. We prove that any species given this power will choose destruction." She turned to her crew. "But if we find another way?" The crystal formations throughout the ship resonated with her words, responding to the moment of decision. This was humanity's true test, not their ability to fight, but their capacity for compassion in the face of fear. Their willingness to seek understanding rather than vengeance. The choice they made here would determine not just their fate, but their very nature as a species. Were they ready for the responsibility that came with ultimate knowledge? Or would they prove that the destroyer's fears were justified? Legacy of the Stars. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood before the crystalline controls, the fate of two civilizations hanging in the balance. The destroyer ships remained frozen in quantum stasis, their dark forms a reminder of what humanity could become if they chose wrongly. "We won't destroy them," Maya declared, her voice firm. "There has to be another way." Sarah stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the streams of quantum data flowing through the ship's now crystalline systems. "Guardian, you said the vault contains all knowledge. Does that include how the destroyers were before their fall?" The A's geometric form shifted, expressing what seemed like approval. "Their original pattern remains in our memory, but attempting to restore them carries great risk. They may still choose violence." "That's exactly why we have to try," Maya responded. "If we erase them, we're no better than they are. But if we can help them remember who they were, show them another path." She turned to her crew. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to learn from our mistakes, to choose a better way." The crystal formations throughout the Hyperion pulsed with new energy as Guardian's presence expanded. "You understand what many species never grasp. True power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the courage to heal. The knowledge you seek comes with responsibility, not just to your own kind, but to all life. "We're ready," Maya said, and she felt the truth of it in her bones. "Show us how to help them." The vault's full power surged through the ship's crystal network. The quantum stasis field around the destroyer ships began to pulse with transformative energy. Inside each vessel, ancient memories stirred, remembering what they had been before fear and pride led them astray. Sarah's console erupted with data as the process began. "It's working. The quantum field is rewriting their molecular structure, but..." She paused, amazed. "It's not forcing the change. It's offering them a choice." One by one, the destroyer ships began to transform. Their dark biomechanical forms shifted, crystal formations spreading across their hulls like new growth after a forest fire. But some resisted, their forms remaining dark and twisted. "Not all will accept redemption," Guardian explained. "Change must be chosen, not forced. This is the hardest lesson of power." Of the 30 destroyer ships, 23 accepted transformation. The remaining 7 broke free of the stasis field, their weapons charging. But instead of attacking, they fled, disappearing into quantum space. "They will return to their kind," Guardian said. "They will tell others what happened here. Some will seek revenge. Others may begin to question their path. This is the way of free will." The transformed ships now hung in space like newborn stars, their crystalline forms resonating with renewed purpose. Their crews were awakening to ancient memories, remembering who they had been. Explorers, seekers of knowledge, protectors of life. "The cycle is broken," Guardian announced. "For the first time, in 100,000 years, a species has passed the true test. You chose wisdom over power, healing over vengeance. The vault's knowledge is yours." The crystal vault began to change, its massive form unfolding like a flower in bloom. At its heart, a library of impossible scale was revealed, the collected knowledge of 1,000 ancient races waiting to be explored. But Maya understood now that this was just the beginning. "We'll need guidance," she said to Guardian. "Not just in using this knowledge, but in helping others find their way back from darkness." "That," Guardian replied, "is why you were chosen. Your species has a unique gift, the ability to see hope in the darkest places, to find new paths where others see only walls. You will help us rebuild what was lost." The transformed ships sent their first transmission, not in the language of weapons and power, but in one of gratitude and renewal. They had been given a second chance, and they chose to embrace it. As the crew of the Hyperion looked out at their new allies, they understood that they had discovered something far greater than advanced technology. They had found a truth that would guide humanity's steps among the stars. True power lies not in the ability to destroy worlds, but in the wisdom to heal them, the courage to offer redemption, and the strength to forge a new path forward. The legacy of the stars was not meant to be one of destruction, but of transformation. And humanity, with all its flaws and all its potential, would help write the next chapter in the galaxy's great story. The end.